How are you in the Big Brother house, first of all?
Hey everybody, and welcome to our Big Brother Canada 11 double eviction interviews with Kuzie and Shanaya. We have so much to get to in this interview, but first, let me let you guys know that wherever you are watching this, make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you guys following on those places, and of course, sharing the show, telling a friend, telling a family member. Those are the best ways to help support our shows. We really appreciate it. It is what keeps them going as we're coming to the end of this Big Brother season. Of course, I think you guys already know these questions come from all of you on Twitter, on Instagram, so make sure that you are leaving them on the post there after each eviction. Of course, we want to make sure that you've also seen the last 10 years of our shows over on our website, yourrealityrecaps.com. Maybe you love other things like Amazing Race or Drag Race or Survivor. We have talked about that stuff for the past decade over on our website, so make sure that you check it out. Of course, those people looking for a place, maybe not this late in the season, but in case you are, to watch the dailies, to watch the live show, we do that over on our Discord, so make sure that you check that out, yourrealityrecaps.com/Discord. We watch the East Coast airings of the shows, we watch the dailies every night around 11 p.m., and of course, finally, I think you all know that I am live every single day at 4 p.m. Eastern over on YouNow until late at night when we're playing Twitch or doing the dailies. So all just a fun community for you guys to be a part of once this Big Brother season is over. Now, that being said, we need to get to the queen herself. So, Queen Kuzie, how are you doing?
I am well, look where I am. Look what I am answering now. I'm answering jury head on instead of being in the game. So I am highly upset. What is my hair doing? Here we go.
All right. We need to know, very important question, which crown means more to you now? The Miss Zimbabwe one or the Big Brother one?
You want to get me in trouble. I think that people originated the Queen Cruise from, me being on the pageant. So that's where, original, that's where it came from. And so I can't diss them. But however, I do love being Queen Cruise on Big Brother. That is,
Okay, speaking of the crown, what would you say was the main goal of your alliance?
The main goal of our alliance was to get to final 5 and then start playing from there. To build an alliance whereby we have each other's backs. We've got numbers. If one of us ends up on the block, we've got the controlling vote. So that was the thought behind it, and where the foundation was set.
Do you think that the previous members fell on their sword for the queen?
I do think that, I think Johnny fell on his sword for Hope. Hope did the same for me. Did I do the same for my team? No. Would I have? No, I wouldn't, because I didn't think that they deserve it. I got out of the house painfully, with pain in my chest. I didn't think that it's a sacrifice that I was willing to make. It wasn't.
Why did you go for the money in the POV?
Why? Because I thought that I was ahead. I thought that I was whizzing through it. And also I thought that there was a puzzle piece inside the bag. So it was a room full of bags, and some of the puzzle pieces were inside bags. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well just start opening. And it didn't take me too long. So I don't think that it wasted my time to that extent. However, now that I'm sitting and thinking about it, I'm like, what if that could be that 1 minute? But I don't think it was even up to a minute. I think I found it pretty fast. I was really quick with unzipping those bags. So I want to blame it on that, but I think what I blame it on is not finding that last puzzle piece in the pet room.
Okay. Why did you tell people you went for the money in the POV?
Oh my goodness. I told people because I thought they would have gone for the same thing and realized that nobody went for any temptation. At that moment, I was like, oh goodness, oh my goodness, what did I do? But at the same time, I now try to spin it and be like, look, I went for the temptation and nearly beat them. So, which means that you can actually even count that I would have beat them. Therefore, keep me in the house because I can beat Ty. This person didn't go for the temptation and didn't beat Ty.
Okay. What was it about Ty that made you trust him?
The fact that he didn't waver on his gameplay, he was unapologetic about it. He said, I am here to play. I am not afraid to play. He was transparent. And even though he sometimes hid things from me and didn't regard me as a player like him, he eventually, got that I'm a big player too. So yeah.
Okay. Was there ever a time that you considered getting rid of Ty?
Absolutely, there was. There was a time that I did consider getting rid of Ty. I think twice. Once on my own move. Secondly, on somebody else's move. I was okay with him going because that means that I stay and I've got a better chance of winning. If I like that he's still in the game and I hope that he makes it to the end because I want one of us to win. Had I stayed, I think I would have a better chance of winning without him there.
Okay. When Ty and Claudia were speaking in the HOH and you came out and caught them talking, did you or did you not hear what their conversation was about?
Which conversation? When they were speaking on the HOH, when?
I think it's just whatever time you think.
Yeah, okay, cool. If it's closer to the end here, there's nothing that I heard. However, I'm good at making assumptions. And my assumptions, most times, I think were true. Like I think I was fast with my assumptions, but they were for a particular reason. I could see things happening. And I think I had a great mind to put things together. So yeah.
Okay. We saw you upset with Renee during the POV ceremony and then apologize last night. Was the apology to Renee sincere or was it strategy to get her vote if it was a tie?
So what it actually was when I reacted to Renee during the POV ceremony was I was reacting to a game move of hers that I didn't appreciate because obviously I'm on the block. I'm annoyed. I'm stressed out, and I didn't expect that she would do that, especially that I've saved her. I've saved her twice. And I was the first HOH to never put her up, even though that was the majority's suggestion to me. So I would have thought that she would have done me the same honor, but she didn't. So of course I'm irritated in that moment. However, I actually apologized to her the next day, not the day of the eviction, but the next day. We had a conversation full on, 2 hours long. And I told her that, look, this is what it is. But I think she took that comment really personally. And so for that, I never want somebody to feel bad or to bring up emotions from outside the game. So for the fact that it affected her to a level that's not game, I needed to let her know that this is not what I'm trying to do. I'm playing game here. So anything that I'm saying is game related. I'm reacting to a game move.
Gotcha. What do you feel was your biggest mistake in the game and why?
Biggest mistake, I would say, well, not mistake, but maybe a regret. A regret would be not working with Santina earlier enough in the game, not solidifying an alliance of me, Santina, and Ty. Maybe Zach too, but me, Santina, and Ty for sure. Even if it had to be like undercover, I think that we would have been powerful for sure, but I just didn't get that same energy back from Santina. It was always very reserved. She was reserved towards me, and maybe if I put more effort, it would have worked.
How do you anticipate using your jury vote? Is there any question or questions that you feel you need answered before you can make your decision?
I hope that Ty makes it to the end because at that point I have no questions. I think that he deserves to win. And if it is somebody else, I definitely want to give them the opportunity to line up what their gameplay was. And depending on who it is that's standing at the final two, the person that I think deserves the money but doesn't at that point, I would want to see things that can make my vote concrete for them. So that's where I would, that's what I would question.
Okay. Is there anything that fans didn't learn about you that you want them to know?
Yeah, actually, I think that as a fan, I've been a fan myself and watched for so many seasons. It's really hard to separate the person from the game. I am a person that went to play a game. I went in with a game hat on. So anything that you see is purely game, except when it's not, when you can see when I'm actually like, okay, this is affecting me because this is, I'm a human playing this game. But I do want fans to understand that most of what you see and the aggression and the selfishness and all of that, it's hard for me to operate in because it's not natural. I want them to know that I'm a different person in person. That's to, to any of the aggressiveness that you showed. I fight ruthless because I'm in a game to fight. I'm in a game of Big Brother. It's a crisis.
Right.
Crisis.
Before we let you go, Kuzie, is where can people follow you on social media?
People can follow me on Instagram. Right now, I obviously I don't have any of my phones, anything like that. I'm just still enjoying the game. But I think it'll be very easy to find me towards the end of the game. I think if you follow the Big Brother page,
Okay.
Big Brother, yeah, if you follow the Big Brother page, Big Brother does follow past house guests. So there you'll be able to see my name in case it.
Got it. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Kuzie.
You're very welcome. But hold on 1 second. Social media?
Oh.
To give my social media, my Instagram, I'll give my Instagram. Kuzie Kwashe __.
Perfect. Thank you, Kuzie. Bye-bye. Well, that about wraps things up with Kuzie, but we have to get over to Shanaya. Now, just for you people that like to skip the intro, I'm going to remind you quickly, a thumbs up on YouTube, clicking that bell, leaving a comment below, following, liking, subscribing, or sharing wherever you guys are watching are a great way to help support these shows. They are what keep them going. So we really appreciate those of you that do that. Of course, if you missed it, we are in our Discord every night around 11 p.m. Eastern, watching the Big Brother Canada dailies. We watch the East Coast versions of the shows there too, and we watch movies on the weekends. We do a ton in our Discord community, so make sure that you check it out. Or check me out live every single day when I am live on YouNow around 4 p.m. Eastern until way late at night, and we end up twitching and doing all fun stuff there too. So come be part of our community, but let's see who is also out in the real world and part of this jury community. It is, of course, Shanaya. Shanaya, how are you doing?
I am spiraling a little bit, trying to, go over everything in my head, but I go between being at peace and being a little bit chaotic, so I'm hanging in there.
Okay, right off the bat, we need to know, why did you say to Claudia in front of Renee that you were okay going instead of Renee?
Oh, gosh, in retrospect, I probably should not have said that. I think in that moment, it's so in my nature to want to try and take bullets for my friends. And something I struggled with a lot in the house is trying to figure out, where I fit in and if I am a deserving winner. And, a lot of self-doubt came into play there. And in that moment, sitting in the bathroom, seeing Renee sobbing and how heartbreaking it was, it just came out of me to want to step in and say, look, okay, no, she deserves it more. I will take the back seat on this. Do I regret saying that? Yes and no. I mean, it crossed my mind, but truly, I think regardless had I said that or not, the outcome would have been the same.
Why do you think she deserved to be there more than you?
I would say her journey is more apparent and a struggle than mine had been. It's not to say that I didn't have my struggles. I started in dead last just as much as she did, and I fought my way out of that position. But I think it's just that her being on the block, you know, she talked about it a lot too, whereas I didn't really talk about my struggles as much because they weren't quite as obvious. So I think it being in my head, it being more obvious to everybody else in the house that she really had truly been through the ringer and had been fighting, it made me feel like my journey was not as justifiable, which I know is not the case. But in that moment, with the intensity of everything, it just was hard for me to ignore.
Okay. Did you discuss with the girly pops who you all should put up for eviction if one of you got power this week?
We did. And so if I had gotten power, I was just going to straight up put Ty on the block and then put up Daniel or Anika. But we had actually discussed with Claudia the idea of her putting up Daniel C and Anika from the get-go, because in Claudia's mind, if she kept Ty off the block, it might save some face going forward if we weren't able to backdoor him. In retrospect, that was not the smartest decision. I wish we had taken a moment to maybe do the math and realize, okay, look, if he wins the veto like he has been, then we're going to be in a really bad spot. But none of us in that moment or prior, I think, even thought about that scenario. Oh, well, I sure didn't. I'm now questioning maybe if the girls did, but I sure didn't.
Okay. Would you have honored your final four with Anika, Daniel, and Claudia if you had stayed?
Truly, I don't know. And that is something that was weighing really heavy on me. Like, I'm telling you, I was losing sleep because the whole thing I've been through in that game is like, I want to stick to my word. So when I got myself into that kind of pickle of a situation, I was like, oh, Lord, help me now. Like, what am I going to do? So truly, I don't think we would have. I kind of had tried to be dropping hints to Daniel C and Anika that putting Renee up on the block is something I couldn't see myself doing. I think they might have known that, but actually acting it out, putting them on the block, it would have been very hard for me.
If the final two is Claudia and Renee, who would you vote for?
You know, I think at this very second, I'm going to choose Renee. Call me bitter, call me whatever you want. But truly, Renee's journey obviously is something that sticks out in my mind to me. You know, I told her that I felt she deserved it more than I did. She has been fighting and she's gone through so much in the house, you know, slop, all the comps, all the losses, and she's handled it with grace. And that's what sticks out for me the most. So at this given time, I would say Renee.
Okay. You and Dan got close in the house. Is that a relationship you plan to pursue outside the house?
I will say that I can't wait to see Dan in jury. I'm so excited that he's there. Honestly, it's making this blow a little bit easier for me to handle. Dan is such an amazing person. I don't know what lies for us outside the jury house. But I do know that regardless, we're going to be amazing friends. I freaking adore that guy.
How do you anticipate using your jury vote? Is there any question or questions that you need answered by anyone before you can make your decision?
I have been kind of stewing on this, and I truly don't think I have a question in mind yet. I need to see how the rest of the game plays out. Obviously, if I'm able to ask Claudia a question, I think it would be something along the lines of, like, how did getting rid of me in that moment benefit your game? Something I can get a little personal with. If it's Ty standing up there, I think I'd like to see him show a little bit of, maybe like humbleness, or perhaps talk about some of the losses that he had in the game and how they helped him move forward. He talks a lot about his successes, but I'd like to see how he dealt with his hardships as well.
Is there anybody in the game you didn't work with that you wish you had?
I wish that I had formed a better relationship game-wise with Kuzie. She was a force to be reckoned with in that house. She always had really good insight. I think what was hard for us is that we just saw things very differently. In retrospect, I do wish that I'd formed a better game relationship with her for sure.
Okay. Is there anything that fans didn't learn about you that you want them to know?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Well, look, I want fans to know, I don't know how I've been shown or how I've been perceived. I think this journey has been so emotional for me, and I've been very, very vulnerable about things that I've struggled with and things that I've been dealing with in my head and in the house. But I just want them to know that I actually am fun and I'm not crying all the time. And I'm actually a good time. I'm not just an emotional wreck 24/7.
where can people follow you on social media?
I am on Instagram. That is probably the best place to follow me. My Instagram is Shanaya C, although yes, I will be back on there soon, but not too soon.
Okay. Is there anything that you learned about yourself coming out of this Big Brother experience that you didn't know before you started playing the game?
I always knew that I was not a very confrontational person, but what surprised me was my ability to stand up for things in the face of pressure and intensity. Like I'm referring to using that veto. It surprised me, despite it being so difficult, that I was able to stand up in front of a room of people and do something they didn't want me to do because it felt right to myself. And that was something that I was really proud of myself for.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today, Shanaya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that about wraps up our double eviction interviews for this week. Again, everybody, I'm not gonna drag this on crazy long, or will I? I'm just gonna do one final reminder to make sure that you guys follow, like, and subscribe wherever you are watching these shows. Share them with a friend, tell a family member, put them in a Facebook group. You guys know the deal. It's the best way to help support these shows. Without you guys doing that, we couldn't keep doing them, and we want to do it more for you in the next Big Brother season. Of course, you can check out our website, yourrealityrecaps.com, for all the past years, decades of shows that we have over there. And that's all, everyone. I'm gonna leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed this double exit interview. Thank you so much for watching. I'm probably live right now on YouNow, so I'll see you over there. Bye for now, everybody. Bye, friends.